Welcome to Hellas Football, episode 17. I'm your host, George. Let's get started. Greg, how are you, mate?
Very good, George. Hopefully, we make some more correct predictions this week, like we did last week.
Plenty of news as well. Stephen.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very good. Thank you, George. Christmas around the corner,
Yes.
so a lot to be thankful and excited for.
Yeah, December 1 in a few hours in Sydney here anyway. Michael?
Yeah, good, George. It's been a mad week of football.
Michael,
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, well, sun's out, guns out with Michael as well. He's got the muscle shirt on. Nico, how are you, man?
Yeah, good. The rainy summer about to begin for us here. Difference a couple of weeks makes, hey? Crazy. My teams have completely turned the corner. And as the guys have touched on, it's been an insane week for Greek football.
It's been a crazy week for Greek football. And last but not least, our French-Greek maestro, Alain, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm just still in with the hangover after what happened in Tuba.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon as well. But first, we'll get through to that then. All right, what we'll do, guys, we'll touch base initially with the European football results. So Olympiacos 1-0 winners at home over Fenerbahce. Tiquinho goal right at the death was the difference in that match. Statistically, it was a bit of a whatever game. I don't know however you ever want to call it. Wasn't that pretty, but we got the job done there to book ourselves into the next phase. Stephen, how did you see this one?
Well, more or less what you said, George. It wasn't an exciting, super thrilling game. It was an intense one, though. I was glued to the screen for the whole 90 minutes because it was so integral that we at least secured top two. And we played them off the part statistically, so that's good. As well as obviously getting the win, and Martin's subs proved to be the important part. Oleg with a fantastic assist to Tiquinho. And when he scored, I just threw my hands up in the air, and I was just like, it was like more relief than celebration. I was like, thank goodness for that, because a draw wouldn't have been a terrible result, but we would have gone into the final game having to beat Antwerp, so that takes the pressure off of us. It's unlikely we're going to get first. We're 2 points behind, but if Fenerbahce beat Frankfurt and we beat Antwerp, then there's a chance. But it's the fact that we secured top two is the most important thing, because that's Europe. That's Europa League secured for January, February, even if it's playoffs.
I think we'll go for it, definitely, for the win there. At least to try to get the top spot, and I think Fenerbahce will try to get the win there as well, just to consolidate. And
they want to secure Europa Conference League as well.
Exactly.
That's right. So because at the end of the day, if you look here, they're still Antwerp are on 2 points. I don't know. Yeah, but so I think they'll be going for it. Papastathopoulos coming off injured.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it was from a recurring injury he suffered over the last weekend, and then it kind of came back to haunt him in this game. And then Bar came on, Mr. Liability, recently, and to be fair, he was okay. Like he got booked, and there was a couple of worrying moments, but overall, him and Cisse were solid, and they prevented Fenerbahce from having any shots on target the entire match. So I guess that's testament to those two.
They hit the bar early on,
which doesn't count as an on-target shot, thankfully.
Yeah,
that was their biggest chance of the game, and I was shocked that they didn't put that away, to be honest. But I'm also very relieved.
No, that's right. So look, it worked out well for us. I think the coach got the substitutions correct, trying to go in for the win, and we finally got the win there. So it was a great result for us. Great. It
was a good to bounce back. Because the two games against Frankfurt were disappointing. So this was a must win, and the players stepped up in the big moment as well.
Well, there was a lot of talk pre-game from the opposition as well. After what Marinaki said over there, which upset them a little bit.
People weren't impressed with that, unsurprisingly. Ozil came out about it, saying how it'd be a massive party in Athens, and it turned out it was a massive party.
It was a massive party. That's right.
Not for the team that he couldn't play for, because
that's his problem. Oh well,
yes.
I'm sure he can live with that. If he doesn't, unlucky. So we move on. Hopefully, with one match to go, we can claim top spot there.
Yes.
Moving on to the Conference League, Elaine, PAOK had a 0-0 draw with Slovan Bratislava. How did you see that,
Yeah.
mate? How did you see it?
Well, actually, I was quite disappointed because I really think we could deserve better from this game, and I saw a real improvement compared to the game to the dreadful game we played against the Tramitos. But still, the problem is we totally lack of efficiency, and either Akpom or Swiderski are totally useless, and Bizesvar can't create any situation anymore, and that's the main issue. And when you see Zivkovic, is always running all over the pitch, and even playing left back. So that's I didn't get it, because that's a game we had to win, and at the end I'm really frustrated.
It was a difficult game. Michael, I know you've been a critic of the typical lineups that have been put out. How did you see this one?
Where was Akpom? He didn't register a shot all game. Until Swiderski came on. Sure, he's not one of the best, but when he came on, he actually did some mobility, provided some mobile movements. But again, as Elaine said, there's just no general fluency in the side, no efficient attacks, especially from Bizesvar. If you're going to start him out wide, don't do that. You need a natural winger. And he did have that on the bench, Lucescu, and didn't start him. That's Thomas Murdoch. And he brought him in later in the match. And Mitricha, who I thought Mitricha did okay. But had he start this match, maybe a little bit different. And again, it's the same old story with PAOK. You just can't put the finger on what's going on over there. And what goes through Lucescu's mind when he's picking the lineup. And again, the defense, the same old story. I don't need to go over it. And Alan, you know the story as well there with Taylor and Sid Clay. The midfield was disappointing with Kurtic, but he's a holding midfielder. He's not that player that will provide goals, and I mean provide goals, assists. He won't do that. El Kaduri, for me, along with Akram, were the biggest disappointments in this match. He did nothing as well. If you're going to play in the attacking midfield role, pull your weight.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because PAOK play Lincoln Reading, so they should win that match and win it comfortably. But this still doesn't guarantee them anything, unfortunately, because if Slovan get a win over Copenhagen, then how does it work again? Is it head to head or goal difference, etc.?
That's just goal difference. Actually, away goals don't count anymore. So
it's purely goal difference.
Yeah, purely goal difference. So even if let's say Slovan wins like 2-0 against Copenhagen, the PAOK with a 4-0 win or something like this will be enough.
Okay, so PAOK needs to put a few goals past Lincoln, which they haven't shown they can do lately, unfortunately, score goals. It's been their issue. But let's hope Bizesvar has his scoring boots on for you guys. Stephen, just before, Radchuk, I thought he was man of the match. How did you see him?
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, sorry, I meant to say that.
No. Yeah, his work ethic has always been something that we've kind of looked on as a huge positive for the team, and his dedication and his willingness to go into tackles and take the hits, and his crossing is just getting so much better. It's so much more consistent as well, because there were times, especially early on this season, where his kind of distribution was into the box was so poor. It wouldn't even get into the box. It would go over or go out of play or whatnot. So for him to get that important assist in that game is massive. And then obviously, as we'll touch on later, he was integral in our league match as well.
Absolutely. All right, let's with one round to go, I think both clubs hold the key to their success, with Olympiacos potentially grabbing top spot and PAOK being able to solidify second spot and move on. So we'll
despite the draw with PAOK, we actually moved up the coefficient ranking to 15th.
It's so tight around there.
Yeah.
So
it's important in the last match there of the group stages, both teams win, and PAOK especially, to score at least 4 goals, and score more than 4 goals actually. If they can do it, I don't know how with those players, man. I don't know. Zivkovic is basically carrying that team.
all right.
That's all I can say.
We'll touch base again on PAOK in a minute. We'll move on to Super League results there. So a few happy chappies in this room, bar our friend Elaine there, but we'll get to that game. Asteras Tripolis 6-2 winners over Atromitos. So after Atromitos got their season running and Koulouris scored goals after not banging them in for a while, they came crashing back to earth, getting thumped 6-2. Kevin Sony kicked off things in the 7th minute. Adrian Riera doubled in the 20th. 41st minute, Sony tripled their league. Just before half-time, Muniz pulled one back for them, but it was all one-way traffic afterwards. Regis scored a double in the 65th and 67th minute. Koulouris got his 3rd goal of the season in the 84th, but it meant nothing because they were down 5-2, and even then Asteras kept going with a goal to Adrian Riera in injury time there. So big win for Mr. Koutakos' boys. So I'm sure he'd be happy about that one. Anyone want to add to that?
How about Kevin Sony?
Yeah, the first goal. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
2 goals, 2 assists.
Yep,
unbelievable. Huh?
The first one was a beauty there.
Yeah, cracker.
What's his go, Kevin Sony?
He's a young Cameroonian.
Yep.
And I think in the post-match interview, he said he wants to go for the title with Asteras, and I'm like, man,
yeah, good on him.
You got big hopes. And I think he was speaking Spanish with that interview, and the guy was translating it in Greek. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but he had a stellar performance for Asteras. But
the right back, the Atromitos right back had a nightmare.
What was his name? Kivrakidis. I think he started this match. And apart from that performance with Sony, don't take away Koulouris' goal. It was a cracker as well.
Oh yeah,
not just from nowhere.
Yeah, but again, Atromitos played this like a 5-3-2 defensive line where they just it's like a Christmas tree setup. Setups like that shouldn't be conceding 5 goals or 6 goals. Sorry, so I don't know what's going on in defensive wise for them. Greg's boy Vassilantonopoulos was playing a little bit high. Isn't he a right back, Greg? Like, Okay, so they were playing this weird formation. I didn't get it from what I saw there with them, but I guess when that result comes up, that's they've got work to do there at that club. Moving on, Apollon Spinis Lamia 0-0 draw in that game. Lots of yellow cards, but nothing to show for. Anyone want to add to that, or do we just keep moving on? We'll move on.
All I'll say is a match Apollon should have won, and it's a costly draw for him.
Yeah, well, they're still struggling there down the bottom. That opportunity to gain some points. So we'll see how their season kicks on and keeps going. Greg, whilst we've got you, your boys, AEK Athens, had a 2-1 win over the high-flying Pasianina. Goals, well, Bus actually got the goal scoring started in the 5th minute with Rodrigo getting in there with a penalty. Amrabat 4 minutes later scored for you guys and went to the halftime draw. And in the 90th minute, Shakov got the winner for you guys. How did you see this one, Greg?
Yeah, it was a nail-biting game because after the 1-0, we dominated possession. We dominated most of the game. Pasianina played a really good counter-attacking game. I've got to say, the former Panathinaikos player, Juan Pereira, mate, he's. I think he's going to. I don't know if one of the bigger clubs is going to get him, but he causes us a lot of problems just with his running and his pressing, and getting on the ball. He can go down quite easy, but he
doesn't score enough for a forward.
Yeah,
I love
probably
his
doesn't.
energy.
Yeah,
I would have kept him, but that's
fair enough.
They're going to look at the goals output.
Yeah, right. But then it was just it was just a nail biter for us to try break him down and get that goal, because they were really playing on the counter and they had a fair few players back, and I thought it was gonna. I thought we had a chance because we kept attacking, but we weren't really putting anything together. And Shakov replaced Mandalos and was able to do something Mandalos hasn't done much of lately, and get a shot, even though there was a deflection there, get it on target to cause a goal, and he did. And that was a huge relief. It was good to see all the players, all the guys from the bench, including Mandalos, running up to him and congratulating him after the game, because it was just like we were pressuring so much to get this goal, and we finally got there.
And that was it, eh? You went for it. Like,
yeah.
From what I saw, he's actually pushed and went for the win there against a bus side that before this round had the best defence in the league. Yep.
Yeah, credit to them. They're a really tough team to break down. I also want to mention a couple of players. Saliakas, again, showed what a good player he is. His set pieces are unbelievable. It's a bit of a shame, I think, that JBS never gave this guy a chance, because he probably could have helped us in some of those key games.
Greg, I've been mentioning about his set pieces, and I've been saying to start him for the Ethniki for that reason. Yeah. Because we had
they're amazing. They're so good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For Ayak, Steven Zuba and Levi Garcia, I don't know what's happening with these two. Levi Garcia was really disappointing again. He almost lost the ball every time he touched the ball, and Zuba went missing for probably 3 or 4 games again. So it's something that's a bit of a talking point at the moment. We're keeping an eye on to see. Hopefully these guys get back into form. But on the other side of things, Amrabat, wow, he's just been. I got to give credit to him. He's put everything in there. You wouldn't think this guy's 34 years old, because he runs so much. He puts so much passion into his game. And he's really been our standout in our attack. So
he's been good for you guys. Yeah, him. No, absolutely. Good times for you guys bouncing back with a win there. Another team that's just kind of snuck under the radar, to be quite honest. Orfi, 2-1 winners over Ionikos. Goals to Luis Gallegos. Ausman pulled one back for Ionikos, and Lazaros Lampru got the winner in the 90th minute for the Credence. Boys, did you know? I mean, you probably have. Orfi have only lost 1 game all season.
Yeah.
It's crazy, eh?
Lots of draws.
Yeah, lots of draws. Have only conceded 9 goals. And they're starting to score now and get their shit together, which is great for the league and great for them as well. So
it's a matter of how long they sustain it. You look at the ladder and you think, how long can they keep it there? I think we're gonna keep it improving, and artists are gonna keep getting wins.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, Elaine probably won't like to hear this, but it looks like Bulk are imploding. So they need to get their pull themselves back together there. So look, good for the Credence there.
I believe there was controversy in that match towards the end with that penalty. I think Ionikos were calling for handball beforehand. I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Greg? Did you see that?
I'm trying to think back. I remember thinking something about the penalty, whether it was really soft or if there was a handball or something.
There was a handball before the penalty was called. Ionikos made a post about it.
Oh, right.
There you go. It's the new norm, eh? Let's put posts up about stuff like that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, these scores, like, if the referee deemed it, like, what do you do? Like, yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
That what's his name? Osman for Ionikos. He's a top player.
I was just going to mention him. What a player. He's going to. I think it's going to be hard for Ionikos to retain him, because he's been a hell of a find, man. He's fantastic.
Yeah. How old is he? Does anyone know?
28. 28.
Okay, so he's still young enough to have a decent career in Greece. Okay. Oh well, let's see if he kicks on or if he ends up going elsewhere. Moving on. Pardon me. Olympiacos 2-1 winners over Volos. Well, Volos could have got the game started and in their favour, but in the 10th minute they missed a penalty there, which didn't come back to bite them in the backside there. not pretty dull game, but no goal scored, and everything happened from the 85th minute onwards. A penalty converted by El Arabi was cancelled out 3 minutes later by Tom Van Witt, and a Matthew Valbuena bomb free kick from the outside won the game for us. Stephen, how did you see this one?
Well, I'll reiterate what I said to Greg on Twitter. Sometimes you need a bit of luck to get the win.
That's it.
Bit of luck.
Yeah. And look, like the very beginning of the game started off very worryingly because obviously the defense switched off a bit, and then Vashlik gave away a penalty, which thankfully he managed to. Yeah, he redeemed himself by saving it. And to be fair to Volos, like they did what a lot of Greek teams outside of the big kind of clubs haven't been doing against us, which is actually taking the game to us. You know, a lot of smaller Greek teams seem to sit back and sort of try to soak up the pressure on us, but it was almost it was very 50-50 this game. So while it wasn't a great quality game, it was still exciting. You know, Ronnie Lopez looking much better, hit the post, unlucky not to score.
Yep.
And then obviously we get the penalty with El Arabi late on, and they cancel out almost immediately. And the Valbuena free kick, man, he rolled back the years there. That was fantastic. I think it was the last kick of the game, more or less, as well. And we just,
pretty much.
I was pleased.
Pretty much. I mean, it wasn't a pretty game, but as you were saying with Volos, they did take it to us, and maybe they've shown clubs what needs to happen, because we're still not there. We're there, but we're not, and there's opportunities opening.
We are getting there. And then and look, Pedro Martins again, both substitutes came on, both substitutes scored. So he's clearly doing something right there, isn't he?
Yep, no, he sure is. What was I going to say? Valbuena with the bomb goal there. It was interesting, the comments from Lopez as well, saying that, you know, he had some issues early on and now he's settling in. And, you know, I guess.
Yeah, I think the big thing for him was fitness, because he's lost a bit of weight in most recently, and that's why he's come back in and he's looking a lot fitter. And look, if he keeps up how he's performing up until the new year, I think we will keep him at least to the end of the season. You know, it's not like we're going to sign him permanently or anything, but I think he's enjoying his time a bit more in Greece now, and I'm happy for him. Yeah,
well, that's right. I mean, look, you know, we've outlaid whatever. I'm sure his wages aren't measly, so he needs to perform, and if he's in a happy place, well, then all the power to him. Hopefully that continues on.
Exactly.
Moving on, Nico, Panathinaikos, 2-0 winners over Panetolikos. Your favourite player in the world, Maheda, with a double in the 53rd and 66th minute was the difference. How did you see this one, mate?
I was worried pre-game when the matchday squad came out, because we only had one fit forward named, and that was the man that scored the brace himself.
Yep.
The man, the myth, the legend. So I was worried, especially if we couldn't nab an early goal there without Carlitos and Ioannidis. But actually, early on, they had a golden chance. It was a great save by Brignoli to keep it at 0-0. Karelis probably should have scored.
That was it. That was their only shot as well.
Yeah, then after that, I was going to say we grew into the game, and it was, wouldn't say one. Yeah, you can call it one-way traffic. Like we look most likely to break the deadlock. Yeah, in the first half, we had a good chance. The header.
He's at 63% possession, 4 shots on target, 4 off target, 6 corners. You just
a win's a win. It wasn't our best performance, but with the players missing, you'd take it. You look at the goals we scored. It was a penalty and a really cheap turnover.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to make your own luck. Yeah. How did Villafanes go?
Yeah, did well. I was going to say that the trio, actually, the man with the assist for the second, Mauricio, Alexandropoulos, and Lucas. We seem to just have a bit more balance when we go with that midfield three.
Yep, a bit more composure.
Has Villafanes stepped up form lately or something? I've been watching some highlights, and some of the dribbling and setting up he's been doing.
Mauricio as well.
That's what I was going to say.
He wasn't getting a game, and now he's a goal and an assist in the last couple of games.
It's almost like Villafanes is turning back the years again. It's similar to like Ronnie Lopez in a sense, where the skill is there, but was he unfit? Was he lazy? Was he not feeling the love? Because he's looking like a different player lately.
It's come at a good time because Vidal is going missing more often than not. He really needs to come out of the firing line. I've been saying it, and Donny said it last week. He just needs a week or two on the bench.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
What
you
else?
got the win there, Carelli's.
Sarlia was a bit. The chance they had, he was a bit hot and cold.
Gotsidas was back in the lineup.
Yeah, pretty not good, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Any news on your centre backs?
No, I was going to say that's the other thing I was going to say.
I heard Schenkervel will possibly play this week.
In the Wallace in the cup or the Derby?
I believe so in the cup. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Okay.
And also, is Villa Finesse getting along with Hadziovani after their earlier bust up in the season?
They must.
I mean, they seem to be getting along.
Yeah, they must.
Because Villa Finesse put him in a chokehold in training. That's what I heard. What I've read. Villafane's got a big fine from the club.
To be honest, a lot of players get into arguments, so it's always good. Let them get out their male testosterone as long as they perform on the pitch.
But it seems like they've overcome their problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Villafane, I've been hearing that recently. Now he's picked it up.
Yeah.
What I've heard is that come January time, we're going to be in the market for a forward.
And a centre-back.
Centre-back's got to be the top priority. I'd be looking at a right-back, even though we've got 3. I'd be looking at upgrading there too.
Forward, eh?
They want a forward basically in the mould of a Berg type because the aim is to play Carlitos just behind the striker.
In a Berg type? How? We might as well just get Berg back.
No, he's too old now.
I was going to say, is he available?
How old is he?
He's like 35.
Mid-30s. I was going to 34, 35.
El Arabi's 36 or whatever it is, and he's still.
Because you look at Carlitos, he's on the wrong side of 30. In my
exactly,
head, 29,
So the thing is with strikers as well, it's so hard. You can't. There's no 26-year-old gun that's going to come to Greece, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So someone in their 30s, especially a guy like Berger, you never go back to. I don't know. It's difficult.
No, I wouldn't take him back.
Yeah.
I know Andoni loves him, but no.
Andoni does.
Not now. Maybe 2-3 years ago, I would have said yes.
Is he still in the Middle East?
Gothenburg, wasn't it? Gothenburg now.
So now he's winding down his career back at home.
I was going to ask Michael, any news on Ioannidis' return, if he's heard anything?
Wasn't it just the sprain? So
is he going to? He should be back. Okay. Carlitos?
What does he have?
I thought there was nothing wrong with him. I was shocked when he missed the last game.
He pulled up last game against Lamia. He got taken off early. That's why.
Okay.
Every time I think of Carlitos, I just think of him cruising in one of those cars in Miami. Anyway, I don't know. Smile like yes, come to my head sometimes. Moving on, boys, to the big match of the round. The Macedonian Derby. Aris ended up being 1-0 winners over PAOK. A Daniel Mancini goal in the 41st minute was the difference. A few yellow cards in the second half. Then, unfortunately, fan disruption halted the game, and everyone thought it was going to be called off, which would have been a disaster for PAOK. But luckily, they continued the match and were able to play the last few minutes to at least finish off the game. Now, watch this space. I think PAOK are going to cop it financially there, but I don't think they will lose any points.
No, they won't. They won't actually.
They won't. Yeah.
I had a look because how to say, they didn't. The fans who invaded the pitch didn't intend it to hurt someone or so, so that would be just closed door with a fight.
With a fine, yeah.
What Michael was saying is because the game resumed.
Yeah, that's right.
If the game didn't resume.
If the police and the referee decided not the game to go ahead or continue, PAOK would be in big trouble.
It would have been
a dumb ruling, though, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of you find the loophole.
Exactly. For the rest of the hooligans, cause enough havoc, but only enough to the point where the game...
Just a little bit, yeah. I guess, but you know what? It also depends on the referee, and good on the referee. Who was it?
Scott Madden? What is his name? Bobby Madden or something like that?
Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
well, look good on the referee.
He said after the match, he's never seen an atmosphere like that ever.
Yeah, good on him. Good. Well, I hope he comes back, because he had the balls at least to just, a lot of the times referees go, "Nah, I'm not dealing with this. I'm out," and they just run off and just take the police protection and fly back to wherever they came from. But at least he had the tenacity to say, "No, let's finish off this game." We're not going to let the idiots spoil it, which is a good thing. But it's also a bad thing in a sense, because unfortunately, like Nicholas said, have the Hools found the loophole, and will they exploit it? Time will tell.
The early signs was when they threw a flare at the artist keeper in like the first minute.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So from there, and I said to Alan, I hope your fans don't F it up.
Yeah, well.
And they did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Elaine, how did you see the match?
Well, how to say? If I talk,
Yeah.
well, football speaking, first, there was another awful game, really awful performance from PAOK, and I think that was one of the worst game we had in Super League this season with Atlontos. And there was absolutely nothing positive from this game. Tactically, that was poor. Taylor and Sid Clay were lost. Zivkovic played left back again. Bizesvar lost 25 balls, I counted. And there was a nightmare from the start to the end.
Yeah, if you look at your lineup, it's like what Michael says. A lot of things don't change tactically with the side, it's a head scratcher. So, I mean, what's Lucescu doing? It seems like he's at a loss as well.
I had a talk about it with a Romanian mate, and he told me that in this case, Lucescu is gonna die with his ideas. Like he's gonna push, he's gonna push to the end, and if it doesn't work, he will go.
Well, it doesn't look like he wants to change things, and that's the point that I'm making. So you're right. It looks like he's gonna fall and die with what he's doing, and if it works, great. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Which it doesn't make sense, because you've got players, especially some of the young Greek guys, but they're not been used.
Like Lirazis deserves to be starting ahead of Taylor. He's better than him. He's not...
Absolutely, definitely. When
even
you see,
sorry, Elaine.
When you see, when you see Lirazis with the U21 at Nikki, really he's much better than Taylor.
Yeah. Now,
really.
So
and even what I saw from Koutsias, because we couldn't watch the game as it wasn't broadcast, but he posted his goals on Instagram. The kid is 17, and you feel that he really has the sense of goal. Like on the first goal, he scores, and on the second one, he just went through the defenders and put the header, and that's another goal. And so when I see that, I think he couldn't be worse than what Akpom or even Zviderski showed up recently.
It's interesting when you see with Akpom coming back. He didn't look that good a player at Middlesbrough. He
didn't.
And with the old coach came back.
He received heavy criticism. Yeah,
well, and rightly so. Like he hasn't been a good player. I don't think he's ever been a good player, to be quite honest. I just think he did a job for PAOK. And he did it well, but now there's expectations on him and to be the man, and he can't deliver.
Yeah, I think it was those expectations after winning the title with PAOK. You know, he came back. I remember when he came back, there was a lot of sort of, oh, he's come back like a champion, undefeated.
Bilovic was the man in that side, even though he left halfway through the season. The hard work was already done.
AK-47.
AK-47.
Yeah, and I won't forget the fact that just before the second leg against Krasnodar, he said he wanted to go back to England, and they just transferred him 3 days before the game.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of issues going on at your club, Elaine, and hopefully they can fix them up on the field with results.
We'll give Artis credit here. They played a very good game, and that goal, all the hard work was done by NDA.
Yeah, he
tore through that midfield of PAOK like it was nothing, and also exposed, I'm going to mention him again, he exposed Lucas Taylor. He found the pass to Mancini, got behind him, and tucked her away.
And that was their first win
in Dumba in 11 years.
Okay, yeah, so it's been a while coming for that one.
We've got to be this after the game in the bench. Oh my god!
Yeah, look, he's
shithousery.
It's massive shithousery. I mean, you know, but I guess.
And for the record, that's just the second win at Tumba from Aris in 25 years.
Okay, well there you go. So yeah, it's a big win. It's a big win for them. It's a big win. It's a big loss for PAOK. And let's hope you guys can bounce back for your sake, because things aren't looking good at that club at the moment.
But I'm not so. Actually, I'm not so optimistic after after what Lucescu said after the game.
Well, who have you got next?
My club.
Ionikos in the league. Is that your
My
club,
club
Michael?
next.
Is your club Ionikos?
No. We've got the cup. We've got the cup.
Yeah. But I'm just saying in the league rather than the cup.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, they got Ionikos in the league away from home. If we look at the ladder now, guys, moving forward, Olympiakos on 29 points, AEK on 23, so they're still, they didn't drop any points there to keep it to 6. PAOK have dropped to 19 points in third spot. Orfi climbing up out of nowhere, 18 points. Panathinaikos back in the mix there on 17 points, and Pasianina the top 6 on 16 points. Aris on 14 points, Volos 14, they keep dropping. Asteras are moving up on 13, Lamia 10, Ionikos 10, Panetolikos 8, Apollon 7, and Atromitos dead last with a minus 15 on 6 points there. Michael, moving on. Super League 2 news, first of all. Kavala, what's the latest with them?
Oh my god, how do I begin to explain this insanity? I couldn't believe when Apostolo shared the article in the chat, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought it was satirical, and then I searched all the publications, and it was actually true what happened with Kavala against Xanthi.
Yeah.
They started the match with 10 players.
Yep.
Kavala, and okay, they didn't stop the match, they can't abandon it. Started with 10 players, and they were 3-0 down after 20 minutes, and the goals kept on coming for Xanthi, you know. And Kavala, you know, they can't do anything. They're basically amateurs turned to professionals. Or what came out after the match, the 11th player, Yorgos Takmatsidis, he's a kickboxer. He's a 20-year-old student, I believe, for Kavala University.
Yep.
And he was studying in the locker room.
Yep.
And he came on in the 20th minute.
It's nuts.
Greek football, Michael.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Ella.
It's
Nick,
absolutely.
I made up the new word just before. Sfinaki ball.
Sfinaki ball. That's it.
Greg, how do you're an old head. How do you see this, man? Like, what's going on there?
Look, like we said, the administration is a joke, and they've done a big malakia with Kavala and allowing what they've done to Kavala, telling them that they couldn't get the license, and they could get the license at the last minute, leaving the club in a position where they couldn't really put a squad together for the Super League 2, which is a pretty, you need a decent squad even for Super League 2. So it's just very, very poor administration, and they've thrown Kavala under the bus, and the poor club is now 4 games, no goals, and against 23. It's just
it's over for them.
It's a really bad mistake, and I hope the people that have done this can get held accountable or something like that.
Now, Michael, go back to you. Is there news on some ownership structure changing at Kavala? Have you heard anything?
No, like I said, what was it last week? Kavala have new owners since August. That Canadian. Okay, his name's. I forgot his first name, but his last name's Haditaji. So he's an Iranian Canadian. And he's been in talks with the previous Kavala owners for like 2 years. And he finally got the chance to break a deal with them over the summer and
is he
took full ownership of the club.
Is he going to invest in January? I'm only asking because we got this DM apparently from...
Okay.
Look, my context
I do have George news on that. There was rumours that Grigoris Marcos, of all people, for the technical director role, but that turned out not to be true. But they're going to be aiming for someone in that position. They definitely need someone, and of course they're going to overhaul actually, or at least build, because their squad is actually not a squad. They're going to start building from scratch in January.
Well,
so players will be coming in. So this is only temporary what we're seeing, but still, even if it is temporary, this is just disgusting.
Well, 5 clubs get relegated. So
from each group.
From each group, yeah. So that's the thing. Now, my question to you there was, we get weird DMs all the time, but this one was from a so-called player agent asking us about Kavala, and apparently that the club's going to invest heavily in the January transfer window, and if talking about his players and all that. So, Mr. Player Agent, if you want to send your players there and give us 5% cuts, we'll take your money, mate.
Just a bit of side news. Also, Zakynthos got their license back, and rightfully so. Which, that was just another malakia that the EPO did.
Yep.
Yeah. So good on them, Zakynthos. There was no reason for that. So made it clear, the Super League 2 president, that there will be no more exclusions.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're not going to go through results today for Super League 2, but just quickly for both competitions, top spot is in the north. It's been held by Veria on 13 points, Xanthi on 10, Niki Volu on 9, Garditsas on 9 points, Olympiakos B on 7, Larissa in the top 6 as well with 7 points. So that's the north. Aya Larissa, not many other Larissa there. In the south, pardon me, Levandiakos are on 11 points, Rhodos 11, AEK B on 10, Kifisia on 10, Kalithea 9, Diagoros Rhodos on 8 points.
We had our first win.
Yeah, Panathinaikos B had their first win, and they're on 4 points on a -3. So big news this week for other stuff. So we'll give the Super League 2 some more love next week. Moving on now to the biggest news of the week, JVS. The question is, did he jump? Was he pushed? Did he whatever? If you don't know, you've been living under a rock. He went on Instagram or social media and resigned, stating that he has had no communication from the Greek Federation, and it was time for him to move on to greener pastures, or whatever you want to call it. Greg, first of all, how did you see that announcement by him? Did you see it coming? And second of all, will it be missed?
I didn't see that. I didn't see the announcement coming that way through an Instagram account, because Apple came out and said that they saw that as well. They hadn't actually spoken to him. But overall, I think we as well as JVS started, his finish was very poor, and I think we needed to move into a new direction, given what's been happening in the last two qualifying tournaments, especially the last one.
Yep.
Where we move on to is another question, but I hope we do some type of right move. I know Fernando dos Santos is a big talking point, but I have my reservations about that.
Yeah, and we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll just go to Stephen. How did you see this coming, mate?
See, I find it interesting, the comments that he made on social media, which, one, I think is a bit unprofessional, but two,
Hugely
didn't he make it clear before all of this came out that he wanted to stay with the national team and compete for Euro 2024, like even if whether he failed or not with the Qatar project? So I think it's like one of those things where he got the sack, but then he kind of comes out on social media before the announcement, like, no, I quit.
Yeah.
I didn't get the sack.
And
it just looked, and it's so obvious. Yeah.
Stephen, spot on. Yeah,
No,
go
exactly.
on, Nico.
No, word for word what Steve said. He either saw the writing on the wall or he got sacked just before.
I reckon he got a tap on the shoulder and said, listen, the meetings that we've had about you, someone in the meeting has said to him, they're not good. Go, because, it's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, and we'll get your opinion as well, Michael and Elaine. For me personally, he came out, he said, I want to do this. He didn't achieve that. Idea.
I thought you were going to summarize it a lot quicker. Just 2 words. Good riddance.
No, that's it. It was Project Qatar. It didn't happen.
That's it.
That's it. You have to move on. Sorry, Greg Ella.
Just something he said that I thought was quite interesting about working hard together, changing the training process and the style of play. They're starting to give the team a new identity. And I think this is my whole thing with JVS. He did that at the start, and I was so proud of the football we were playing. And I made Facebook posts, I made social media posts, giving him credit for that when everyone was still talking him an A-League reject and whatnot. But I just don't get why he went so backwards on his own sword and started having us playing poor football.
The game against Italy, for instance. We played beautiful football and we took it to them. And what was the score again at the end?
2-0.
We lost 2-0. We could have scored 1-0 earlier on.
Yeah, but we played nice football, and I thought, okay, I can dig this, man.
It was weird though. Like, it coincided, if you remember, we were meant to have a games in America, if you remember, in March 2020.
Yep.
And they got cancelled when the first lockdowns came in.
Yep.
But up until then, the optimism levels were sky high amongst all of us. It was as if that Corona shutdown period really affected us as a team, and he never really recovered. We cut him some slack, the Nations League, but he never recovered.
Oh, look, the Nations League, fair enough. I mean, we can cut him some slack, but if you look back at it, we should have topped that group. Okay, we didn't.
They were forced to sack him then, which were premature, but
look, the Nations League, I'd also put that on the players because they just couldn't finish. We created a lot of chances in most of those games, especially the games with Slovenia that we drew 0-0. The players, I think, should have they needed to finish those games off. We had enough possession and chances to win that and then take out the Nations League competition and the group that we're in. But once this tournament, the World Cup qualifying tournament, that was something else. That was just poor tactics, poor formations. And just we played a lot of bad football a lot of that game, and I've said in my blog, we played football at the half an hour against Sweden when we won that game, and the first half against Sweden. And if you look at every other game, we really didn't do anything special. And as a lot of people worried that JVS is going, I think they're forgetting what has happened in this tournament and the mistakes he's made, and they were going to continue because we talked about this so long before we got to this point. And my biggest point to you, George, was, will he learn from his mistakes? And the answers were no. He never learned from them.
I mean, the Spain game was the icing on the cake. Like, no one, we're never going to, well, I mean, you'll never know now, but it was highly unlikely we were going to win that match. And then he pulls out a lineup like that, which just said, it was just such a gutless lineup. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, give us an opportunity. Give the fans some optimism that you know what you're trying to achieve here, because it was just chaos, and it was just really disappointing. I'll just quickly go to Michael. Michael, if I was to say to you, 26 games, 11 wins, 9 draws, 6 losses. It's not too bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's on paper not too bad,
Well,
but
exactly.
you look at it, you watch the game, That's where you judge.
That's
you look
where
at
you
the
judge.
opponents too.
And
Who
this
Yeah.
is
minnows?
Kala, this
Exactly.
is my argument here. He's going to hang his hat on that record to get his next job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting to see where he lands next. It would be interesting.
I think top line football is gone for him
No,
now.
and that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, which relates to this. Like, where do we fit into the picture? Like, are we top line?
Oh, no, I think the Ethnic is a top job. I mean, look, we're talking not even 20 years ago we were European champions. We got some great players. I mean...
look at Skib, look at Anastasiadis when they went.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they were poor appointments. They were poor appointments
rather than
so
anything else.
JVS was in hindsight too.
Yeah, I think JVS was just
something... in hindsight, but he started off really well and then just went off the tracks.
I think they were poor.
I think JVS showed enough that something special can be done with this team. You just got to continue that track.
There's a young core there.
There's a great young core that, and we'll give him credit where credit's due. He's given them, well, not I wouldn't say opportunities, but he's brought them into the fold there and made them feel part of it. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to think of. It's just. It doesn't sit well with me.
That's what I was going to say, though, George. There is always a caveat to that because, yes, he brought in, players that you wouldn't have expected anyone else to have brought in, and there was a great opportunity for them to see what it was like to be part of the Ethnic. But then the opportunity to actually play them wasn't given. So how much kind of worth is it to call these players up if it's not to even give them a chance in friendly matches, like even games that didn't matter, and he didn't really give the players that he gave opportunities to actual opportunities.
Yeah. He
gave Duvikas, who's pretty young, he gave him a run. But you're right, Steve, you are right. Like Alexandropoulos, Zolis was underused, Salyakas, Papanikolaou, the list is endless.
I'm just looking at our
centre back, Unguras, when we were desperate for centre backs, never got on.
Better.
I look at the coaches. I look at our coaches since Alketas Panagoulias has moved on, and it's I don't know, Tina support, man. Like there's some names here. It's almost like we just make these mistakes after mistakes. Like we got Otto Rehangel. Great, he came in.
Yeah, he did all right.
He did all right. He just did all right. Santos, but since Santos, we've had Claudio Ranieri. Okay, now
that wasn't that bad appointment.
That was a good appointment. The problem is that I don't even know what his problem was. The problem, okay, for me, and you guys probably can answer this differently. Everyone didn't like the way we played football under Santos. And we were a big side back then. Everyone knew the Ethnic Mother. We weren't a pushover side. People were getting a bit like, our football's ugly under him. Let's bring the Italian coach in that plays with a bit of flair. But I think we're not. I think we still need that rough edge around us. We've never been one of those teams. And that's what I thought Otto Rehangel and Santos could find within our playing squad. The ability to just really find those tough, uncompromising players and sprinkle a little dust around them. And
but also you love to see teams get frustrated against us because we were such a tough team to beat. Like I wouldn't care if we won 1-0 against I don't know whoever it was, whether it would be a big team or a minnow. Like you knew that we would at least pull out a result or play well, or in terms of getting the job done.
We knew our style. That was it.
Yeah.
We knew our style. What are you laughing at, Greg?
You're bringing back a lot of old memories of good times, a lot of frustration. I still think with Santos, we had an opportunity there. One of my criticisms of Santos, and look, he did some good things with us, but one of my criticisms was playing friendlies and just playing the same guys that would play in the big games, and we'd walk this friendly. But my thing was, we had opportunities to, give some of the younger guys some experience, and then we went from that team who was the same guys being used all the time. They did really well at the World Cup, of course, but we didn't integrate a lot of the other guys. That then come 2000, right after that World Cup, we had the squad with some guys with very little experience, and we saw what happened for the World Cup qualifiers in 2016, which ended up being a complete disaster. But I really felt Santos had an opportunity to give some of the guys we saw then an opportunity to integrate with some of the experienced players like Aragonis and Katsouranis, Samaras, and all them to get some of that exposure when the team was really pumping before the World Cup in 2014.
It's a hard one there as well, because I agree with you to a certain extent, but when the team's playing and they're getting the results, he's probably thinking, well, at the end of the day, I'm a national team coach, and I need results
Santos
now.
Santos made big mistakes too.
Of course he did. Yeah, of course he did. No,
sure. Like you know, for example, bringing together Katsouranis and Maniatis, and
Maniatis.
But Pavlidis was underused, if you remember, in that World Cup. And
very much so, Nick. Very much so.
And he called up Mitroglou, who was injured for months, and Gekas, who was clueless with the Ethniki for more than 2 years, when you had Karelis and Klaus, who were banging everything at the time.
Yeah. So if we look at the reports that have come out,
one word about Van Chip. I think that's probably the most unprofessional thing I've ever read from a manager.
Massively unprofessional.
Yeah, hugely.
No, I think it's the worst I've ever seen for a national team like this. You don't even hold a press conference. You just publish your stupid narrative on social media. That's totally unacceptable.
Spot on, Elaine. Spot on, mate.
100%.
It was very unprofessional. A lot of his decisions that he's made, and if he doesn't have regrets in his time that he's been the ethnic Yilmaz the coach, then he'll never learn as a football coach. And good riddance, I say, to him, because he went from fantastic and he just nosedived and he couldn't get himself out of the mess, and he just kept creating a bigger Tsimikas centre back. I don't even want to talk about that.
Looking back at all this, George, it was all to him an experiment, nothing else.
Well, if it was an experiment,
players out of position.
He failed miserably. But I digress. Lots of names being thrown around. We can talk about that for hours, but we won't. We'll just wait and see. The EPO, the president, said he'd love to see Santos back in the job. He's obviously still coaching Portugal. I don't think we should go back to an old coach. I think you're saying, Nick, he's nearly 70 years old as well.
I looked it up. I thought he was 70. He's 67.
Yeah, so I think, and the reality is,
no thanks. I loved him back then, but no.
I think his football would have stagnated as well, because as a coach of Portugal, let's be honest, it's everything Ronaldo based.
He doesn't have much to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it puts a team out. Ronaldo probably says to him, "I want these guys to play," and he's like, "Yeah." He sits back with his cigar and just watches the magic happen.
I watched some Portugal games. Since Euro 2016, and he didn't even use the proper players. Yeah. He did exactly like Van Chip. Like maybe guys, you remember Pizzi when he was stunning with Benfica. Pizzi. He never used him properly. Like he just made him play 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and he never used him as the 8 number. And I saw fans who were complaining too about his really poor lineups since they won Euro.
Oh yeah, there's I see Portugal fans saying we're going back to playing Santos ball. They call it Santos ball. So we'll talk about that in the coming months when more names start popping up.
They've got time at least.
But the EPA president confirmed it will be a foreign coach.
Yes.
Yeah, so that rules out Donis completely. Donis is not considered.
It's not a bad thing. Greg, are you okay with a foreign coach?
Don't mind, I guess.
If you're the man, who are you picking?
Without having, I probably haven't looked at the Valverde. I'd like to give him a shot at it, actually.
Okay, yeah. Yep, he'd be a good shout. I don't know whether he's unemployed now, so whether he'd want to.
Valverde, he's unemployed.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
unemployed.
he's unemployed. Yeah.
So is Jimenez. He's always thrown on the table.
Yeah,
I bet
Jimenez
you right
is
now.
gonna go back.
lazy.
But I
That's
haven't heard
journalism.
I haven't heard anything much about Jimenez being
Yeah.
hired.
Look, at
Hopefully
least
not.
they've got time. You'd rather just, they've got 3 months to make the right choice.
Do you
Don't
know,
rush into it.
and quickly, and we'll wrap this up now. I hope whoever they sign, they just sign them only for a short-term deal
Yeah.
to go past the Nations League. And if they succeed in the Nations League, then it triggers a contract extension. Because I just think, you know what? Put all your cards on the table, Mr. Coach. And that's why someone like Valverde would be good, because he'll come in and be like, all right, well, I'm thinking the Nations League by rights, we're in such a low group that we should win it. I won't say anything.
Don't tempt fate.
Don't tempt fate.
Should have won the last 2.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I think it should just be a contract based on results in that group there, and moving forward, because it's really important for us to at least get the second bite of the cherry, like a lot of them have. They got themselves into European football, and with a World Cup with 48 teams coming up after this World Cup, there's no excuses for failure.
Although Europe's not getting
too many spots. I know, yeah, but still, it just the optics of a World Cup with 48 teams and us missing out, it doesn't look right. Anyway, moving on to bigger and better things and to more fantastic things. Pavlidis has been nominated for the Pushkas Award. That'll be awarded in January for this a beautiful goal that he scored. Check it out on our page, on our Twitter page, guys. And if you haven't voted, there's a link there to go vote, and let's see if we can get him the award.
You have to create an account on FIFA.com.
Oh, okay, so it's one of those, eh? All
yeah,
right. We need some Russian bots.
Unbelievable goal, though, eh?
Sorry.
Unbelievable goal.
Oh, it's just beautiful. I
watched it back. Wow.
It was never ending.
Why couldn't you do that? Wearing ethnic interest. Why?
Why couldn't do that? JVS was on his head. That's why.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, guys. Well, if you've got a FIFA account, or if you've got 5 minutes to create a FIFA account, I think you can do everything with your social medias now. So
we're not talking about FIFA, the video game. Okay, let's be clear with that.
No, yeah, well, it's much of a muchness. But please, jump on and give him a vote. Always good to see some Greeks in the highlight stage of the World Game. Kyriakopoulos had a great game with Sassuolo, and they actually beat AC Milan at home. Michael, he had a bit of a stoush as well with Zlatan?
Yeah, towards the end, just for some unfair play from the Milan players, I think. Yeah. And Kyriakopoulos was one of the players involved. I think he got involved with Simon Kier, I think that's his name. And then they started to push each other, and then here comes Zlatan confronting Kyriakopoulos like some idiot, and Kyriakopoulos was giving it to him as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
So he stood his ground.
Yeah, good.
Beautiful. Zlatan talks a lot. But
apart from that, Kyriakopoulos had a very good performance against Milan and got them the win. He contributed very well in his offense, and he should not be overlooked for the ethnic in the future. I want to see more of him.
Yeah, it would be great to see more of him. Mavropanos back in the starting lineup as well, back from injury, and hopefully
two games in a row, and very great performance.
Yeah, so that's good to see from Mavropanos there. Nico, your old love, Dean Smith, at Norwich City has taken over. But it doesn't look like Giannoulis is in the picture.
I hinted it to you back then. I had a bad feeling about Giannoulis. About
Giannoulis, I think that's another problem, as he stated that he wanted to leave due to the club situation.
He wanted to leave Norwich. He has stated.
Yeah.
January is next month.
Did he say what club situation is that?
Probably.
No, I mean he didn't say it clearly, but there was reported that he was clearly already looking for another club.
Okay, so
that's why I think he won't. I'm not sure he will play again.
Interesting. Well, what do you think that will mean for Tsolis?
I'm not sure because, with Solis, that's a really weird situation. It's like from last year around March, you remember he signed with a big media, commercial company, agency, yeah. Wasserman, and it's like they are protecting him for some reason. I don't know, either with Norwich and Etniki, and I don't know what's going on. It's like the player belongs to the agency.
Yeah, Zolis is a weird one. Yanulis is more clear cut.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Yanulis has got a pick, because even that on loan player is not even from wherever he came from. When I saw the lineup, he's not even starting. So they've got someone else starting, I believe.
Oh, really? I thought they'd be playing Brandon Williams already, but sure, fair enough.
No, I saw some other name there. I mean, Tsolis was always going to be one of those young guns that was just going to slowly be integrated into the side anyway.
They've got a massive game tomorrow morning our time. And with a short turnaround, he might get a sniff the next 7 days or so coming up. If he does, he's got to take it with open arms.
Yeah.
They play Newcastle. That's a 6-pointer.
No, sorry, it was Williams. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And Smith's done very well there. Hasn't lost since he's gone.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, he's at a club. He's stamping his own authority. And if that means that Yanulis needs to move on, then, he's a good player. He should be able to find a club. Hopefully he'd go to a different league that would suit him a bit better. What they call him, Mr. No Reverse Gear or whatever they called him in the UK. So, I don't know. I think he's a better player. I think he's a better player he should be playing for a better club than Norwich, if that makes sense. I don't think his skills are.
Yeah, I guess at the time the move made sense though,
it never made sense that he went to a club in the second division.
Yeah, but they were always going up.
It still didn't make sense career-wise.
George Wallace, who's a better prospect, went there.
It doesn't make sense either. Sorry, Elaine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, George. Actually, there was. I just found the source, and there was Sport Time on 26 October. We reported that Yanulis wanted to leave in January.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll watch his space. He's got a month of football in front of us before the transfer window opens up. And we see what happens there for him. Sorry, going back, Nickel. I mean, this is all in hindsight, obviously. But did you think it was a good move?
Yeah, I said it at the time. Yeah, I thought Bulk were the ones that got ripped off. They could have got extracted a bit more from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
they were always going up. So for him to test himself in the Premier League, absolutely.
Yeah. Just. I don't know. Yeah, look, maybe I probably thought the same as well at the time, but now just thinking back at it, going, they're a yo-yo club, and they always have been. Them, West Brom, Fulham.
The aim is look at a Buendia for them that we cashed. They cashed in on him back then, and we paid the big bucks. That's the hope for Zoli.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it was a good move in the sense that if it didn't work out at Norwich, which they are more than likely to be relegated even now, despite their form, if he'd been in the first team consistently and been performing to the level in which he was in the Championship, then hopefully if they go down, he was to then use them as a stepping stone to maybe go to something bigger and better. That's kind of the expectation.
I still think he was made a scapegoat for a lot of their losses, which never helped, and it wasn't fair. Actually, it was very unfair. For him. But I guess that's English football for you.
That was totally unfair because apart from the two awful game the whole team had against the Liverpool and the other one I don't remember. I think that was Man City. Yeah. Apart from that, he really played more than decent.
Yeah, I think he was just getting let down by positional play from other players, and he was having to make decisions based on their stuff ups, which was.
He did okay against Liverpool that first game. It's just that he got scapegoated extremely hard by the coach in the next game.
Yeah.
Against Manchester City, where he publicly shamed him in the press conference for absolutely no reason when there were other players that did nothing in that match.
Brandon Williams came on and did worse than him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there you go, because Brandon Williams was English, so you don't.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's English. It's biased. And
I can guarantee you that all these on loan players, there's all clauses in the contract where you don't talk bad about them. They have to play. They have to play a certain amount of games, and you can't talk shit about them, and all kinds of stuff. So because
especially where he came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a United player as well.
That's right. So, look, watch your space, I guess. We'll see what happens from there on. Fellas, any other news? Anything?
Two things.
Pavlidis, we give him hard time, but, for the next call-ups next year, I wouldn't say no to him because he's playing every week now for his club.
Listen, it's very simple for me, Michael.
Yeah.
Pick your in-form players in position.
I know.
But he's a left back. We've got left backs. So
exactly.
Yeah, he's a left back, but but he's playing right back for his club and he's doing okay.
We've got right backs.
He's doing okay there. I'm just
saying.
saying.
I guess the problem, Michael, is that he was getting called up when he wasn't getting games. So now that
that was my problem.
He's playing well, I'd take him if he needed to. We have better left backs in front of him.
We've got better players in front of him. Yeah. We can't just look at a guy that's played half a dozen games or played 20 games. After being such a whatever. But he's a good player. Just play football there. Just play football. Get yourself back into a position where you're not breaking down every 4 or 5 games. And get chosen. That's it. Afiseme with Pavlidis, man. I'm having heart attacks with hearing that guy's name. I just think of that man bun. Maybe because I don't have nice hair anymore. That man bun, the tats, and then you've got the other guy that keeps breaking down. What's his name? Retsos, trying to look like him as well. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Massive week ahead for Panathinaikos. I was just going to say.
What's going on?
The Cup.
The Cup?
Obviously against Volos, which we have to take very seriously, and the big derby against AEK.
Have I got... Let me just find my Greek Cup.
That's the match of the round.
Yep, okay.
For the league, I'm talking about.
All right, so look, we'll quickly run through actually the Greek Cup matches here. Niki Volou play Panetolikos. Aris host Ofi. Levadiakos host Olympiakos. Panathinaikos host Volos. AEK Kifisia. Michael's boys Larissa host Elaine's boys PAOK, so you guys can have a nice fight. Aeos Nikolaos and Karditsas play, and Lamia Ionikos play. So the juicy one there.
It's 2 legs.
Okay, there you go. Greek Cup 2 legs. Anyway, okay, I didn't know that. So there you go.
I think the second leg's being played New Year, is in the New Year, isn't
before
it?
Christmas, just before Christmas.
Just before.
And they go on break.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Double leggers, eh? I thought we got rid of them.
That was, I think, for last season as a one-off.
How do you play cup matches in their double leggers?
Yeah, I don't know.
It defeats the purpose of a cup. It's Finaki boy at its finest. Like it just all a double legger does is it makes sure that the big club wins at the end.
Yeah.
Because if they go, if they go and lose one, if they're playing like away from home, like Levadiakos hosting Olympiakos, if Levadiakos play the game of their life and they win 1-0, it means nothing because Olympiakos' chances are going to sweep them in the next game.
Yeah.
So it's not a true indication of a cup. A cup is exactly that. Then and there, win that one game, move on. But, I guess we don't like seeing different people winning the cup. Anyway, Dinas football. Anything else, guys?
Just round of applause again for one of our own, George Kambosos.
Yes, Aussie-born Greek George Ferocious Kambosos took all the belts off the what the name was his name, Teofimo Lopez in a dominant display. So. George, if you're listening, bravo. So maybe we'll tag him onto the podcast. See if he's I don't know if you noticed his social media accounts went from like 5,000 to like 30,000 after the fight. So good on him.
Only people like us, the ones that from Sydney and Melbourne, really, that have been following him the last decade.
Yeah, look, my mate was watching him ages ago. I remember him talking about it. He goes, there's a skinny Greek guy when he used to go to the to the club scene. My friend's big in the boxing scene. He'd be like, there's a skinny Greek kid. Just keep an eye out for him. And there you go. The skinny Greek kid is the world champion now, undisputed with 4 belts.
Unified, yeah, 4 belts.
All right, boys, bravo. Guys, thank you for listening. If you do like listening and you do like what we do, if you give us a 5-star review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, that would be fantastic. If you've got any comments or feedback, please shoot them our way as well. Elaine, thank you for jumping on the podcast. Your English is
my pleasure.
Your English is magnifique.
Better than mine.
Thank you.
There you go.
Better than ours, George.
Better than ours, yeah. Well, yeah. Your English is better than my French. So, but no, always a pleasure having you on, Michael, Stephen, Nickel. Greg had to jump off about 10 minutes ago. Baby duties were calling, but that's okay. Guys, tata pume. Have a good night, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.